So now we get into the actual sample of your 3-day colon and liver cleanse. And what we're going to do is we're going to break it down by time so you have an idea. Again, if you're an early riser like me, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's when I start my day. You could start then. If you're a late riser and you say, oh my God, I can't get up that early, I have to be like 8 o'clock, that's fine too. Just know, remember that you're not going to get everything in, and that's okay. It's the rhythm of every couple of hours you're going to do something. If you want to do it every hour and a half, that's fine. But for the purposes of this example and this teaching, we're going to do every couple of hours, and you can see what needs to be done. All right? So first thing when you wake up, okay, you should be able to say this with me now, right? You're going to do your lemon water and your probiotics, okay? So as soon as your feet hit the ground, you're going to make your water with the fresh lemon, 2 glasses, and then you're going to also have 2 probiotics, okay? And what's next? Then you're going to do at 8 o'clock, and again, now, it's like, seems like a big gap there between 7 and 8 o'clock, right? Just like, well, the whole hour. Well, it doesn't have to be. If you want to do it sooner, that's okay. I'm just kind of giving you an idea. If you want to, you have to, let the dog out, feed the cat. I know everybody has a routine, right? So go ahead and do all those things, but just kind of like stick to this kind of schedule. So then at 8 o'clock, what are we going to do? That's when you're going to do your light, get this here, your light exercise, okay, your stretching, all right? And then you also, now this is easy to add, is your, get my marker, why is it not, here we go. I've never had a marker that doesn't work, but I figured it out, so I'm good. Okay, so you've got your liver, tea, and your tincture. Okay, so here we are about 8 o'clock, and you're going to do, again, it's only 5-10 minutes. You're going to move your body. You're going to do your stretches. If you want to go for a walk, that's fine too, depending on what time of year it is. Doesn't matter, but whatever you want to do for at least 10 minutes. That's minimum 10 minutes. And then take your liver tea, take your tincture, 2 dropperfuls of that, and then you're done with getting your liver and your colon, getting it ready for the whole day. It kind of like is a wake me up, okay? All right, so then what's next? You're going to do your between there until we get to this point. Let me just go ahead and tell you what that point is so you know. So that's going to be coffee enema time. Okay, so you notice we have a 2-hour gap in here. So this is where you're going to do what? You're going to do your prep time. Okay, I'm really not making, here we go. Your prep time. So that's when you're going to be you're making the juices for the day, okay? And making your lemon water for the day, having anything that you need to get ready, okay? So you're going to have that, and then you're going to do your, when you have all that done, I give plenty of time to my people. At 10 o'clock, you do your coffee enema. And that, I don't know, depends. It depends on a lot of things, I mean, for most people, it's like 30 minutes or so. But then if it's your first time, it's like, well, wait, I gotta, get things ready here, and I gotta do, get the coffee ready, and it might be 45 minutes. So that's why I give plenty of time in between there to get everything prepared. The actual enema is very relaxing, because you're just laying there and letting the enema do its thing, and you're done. You don't have to really do a whole lot. Okay, so coffee enema, and then after that is when you're going to do your hydrotherapy, right? And then you're going to do your salt scrub. Okay, before you do all that, we always want to make sure you do your dry skin brush. So that's pretty much the order of events. So right before the coffee enema, you do your dry skin brush, then you do your hot and cold hydrotherapy, and then you do your sea salt scrub. What are you going to do after that? Okay, then it's like, oh man, you're really like hungry or thirsty or whatever that could be. So then you could go ahead and have your green smoothie. Now let's talk about that for a minute. A lot of times people can't wait that long. That's a long wait. So if you feel like you want to do it before your coffee enema, that's fine. Not a problem. A lot of times it kind of gives you the energy to get through all the different therapies and all the different things you're doing. So that's okay. All right. And then what about, some people do like having the coconut water after their coffee enema. That's fine too. So this can be switched. You could do your green smoothie earlier, or you could do it here. And then you could also do your coconut water here, okay, after that. And the reason is because a lot of times people ask me, well, don't I lose a lot of electrolytes doing the coffee enema or the colonic? And yes, you can, and you will lose some, and so the coconut will replace that. But if you just do the green smoothie, that also does replace some of it, so you'll be fine. It's not like you're losing that much. Okay, so after the coffee enema, this is where it really depends on you and where you're at, how you're feeling. So pay attention to yourself and what's going on. If after the coffee enema you feel really hungry and you haven't had your green smoothie, put the green smoothie with my marker here. Green smoothie and the coconut, right? But if you had the green smoothie earlier and you had the coconut, whatever, then this is the time to have your colon detox powder. Now, what is that? Now, again, I have the colon detox powder in my kit, and what it is, I call it the black powder. That's what I've always called it that. Black powder is got charcoal and clay, but it has all the fiber in there. So it has psyllium, it has apopectin, it has all those things that really get things cleaned out, okay? And that is black powder. That doesn't mean you're going to have explosive diarrhea, or, people always ask me, oh my God, I have to be close to the bathroom, I can't leave the house. It's good to stay home just to relax, but it's not because your bowels are going to be explosive. It's not it. I mean, my program, that doesn't happen. You will urinate more. That will happen. I know every time I do a cleanse, it's like, okay, I need to know the bathroom everywhere I go, because I always have to go to the bathroom to urinate, but not because of the bowel. So you're okay. So here's the deal. When you're done with your coffee enema, that's a great time to take the colon detox powder. If you are just having the smoothie, then you're going to have to wait a little bit because you're going to be full. It makes sense, right? Green powder, full. You can't do another liquid right after that. You have to wait a little bit. Okay, so there's some gap there. Okay. Now, supposedly lunchtime. It's not really lunchtime, but 12 o'clock is when most of us eat lunch. What are you going to have? This is the time you do your potassium broth. And just about everybody loves the potassium broth. It is just vegetables with water. You got beets, celery, and potato skin, and everything as organic as we possibly can. And then you add a little bit of sea salt or Bragg's liquid amino, and that's the one that you were supposed to make Friday night, so it's ready for Saturday, right? If you forget, don't worry. You just make it when you wake up on Saturday, okay? That's okay. If you miss a day, don't worry. It's not a big deal. So you have your potassium broth. A shortcut, if you really don't want to do the potassium broth and it doesn't really hurt you, is you could have something called Miso Soup. Now, Miso Soup is soybean based, okay? It's a fermented soy. And a lot of people are concerned about the Miso Soup is causing problems because it's GMO issues and pesticides, but now they have non-GMO, they have chemical-free. They've really ramped it up. I know this one company that's been around since I've been in alternative medicine for 35 years, and it's just really great soup, and I drink it all the time when I'm on my cleanse. It's very nourishing, very healing, and just you feel good when you have the soup. So you can have the potassium broth and miso soup at lunchtime, and then we go into, what's the next thing that I normally have? So choices. So here's the two choices as far as broth goes. Now this is also the time you could switch it up, and you can have your veggie juice I have, and veggie soup. Now, what does that mean? Okay, so veggie soup, veggie juice is, I've been talking about that. That's your carrot and your celery base, and then you drink a glass of that. But if you feel like it's like, oh man, I got to have like something a little bit more substantial, go ahead and have a vegetable soup. Why? Because it gives you a little bit of nutrients as far as the fiber and the minerals and all that, and that's okay. Vegetable soup, though, I will say it's technically not a liquid cleanse then, but that's okay. Again, if you're feeling tired and if you feel headachy, you're just cleansing too fast. Let me repeat that. When you are having any symptoms, even if you've done the pre-cleanse, it's because you're cleansing too fast. And so that simply means you slow the process down. And that means that you might have to eat a little bit of something. Vegetable soup is safe. It's especially if it's homemade. Go ahead and have that and you'll be fine. You're not going to like ruin the cleanse because we're doing so many other things. You'll be fine. Okay, so vegetable soup is so these are your choices for lunch, and it's basically going to be the same for dinner. Okay, the same idea. You could have the broth, the miso soup, vegetable soup, veggie juice, or the vegetable soup. Now, the best part and the hardest part comes up next. Okay, so this time between 1 and 3 is going to be your rest time. Okay, rest time. So in between there, if you wake up or you are out moving about, is also the time you could have your liver tea and your tincture. Okay, so rest time, and I'm very serious about this. Do not do anything between 1 and 3. This is like the perfect time for your body to get rid of those toxins and to rebuild and repair itself. Okay, this is like the magic hour, and this is the time you want to do it. And it's because it's after lunch. It's like, this is like a world thing. Like so many countries have their siestas and all that. Why? Because they know this is the time to do it. And we have just lost the art. So I'm bringing it back, basically. Now, just for cleansing purposes, it really is a very important time to have that time where your body just gets to recuperate. Because here you've been doing all these things, plus all the different things with pre-cleansing, is the time to do that. So again, it means sleeping if you can. It means putting your feet up and reading a good book. It means watching a funny movie. It does not mean watching TV and all the negative stuff that goes on. It does not mean listening to radio shows that have all the negative stuff on. It doesn't mean being around negative people. If you could get that taken care of, tell everybody you're on vacation and just close the door and shut the phones off and nobody knows you're even home, right? Hide the card like 2 blocks down. I actually have people do that. So the point is you want this time for you. This is you time to focus on your rest, your recovery, your healing. This is a huge area of time when your body really, really responds. Okay, so don't skip it. Give yourself that 2 hours, okay? Might be a challenge because I know that was the biggest challenge I ever had working in the clinic. So many people said, I didn't know what to do for 2 hours. I could do maybe 1 hour, but 2 hours? I'm like, yeah, well, figure it out. There's ways to get yourself in that mode, all right? And here's the other thing. Emotionally, it's like you almost feel guilty to take 2 hours of the day for yourself. But again, think of it as a healing time. Okay, this is your time for healing, and you need to have that in order for you to get to your next level. It kind of puts it in a different frame of mind. Okay, so that's your rest time. Now we go to, so we got a 3. And now we're at that 3 to 6 mark. And what are we going to do at that 3 to 6 mark? Let me turn my page of notes. Okay. All right. So this is what I call the alternate phase. And that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to alternate. All the different, the lemon water, the vegetable juices, the green smoothie, everything that you've made, everything that you have, this is the time that you're going to just alternate. So if you feel like after your rest time at 3 o'clock you want another green smoothie, have another green smoothie. An hour later, you want your veggie juice, have your veggie juice. You want to take the colon detox, do the colon detox, okay? Everything and anything, you're basically just doing it on repeat mode. Now, a lot of people will say, well, does that have to be done every 2 hours again? Well, technically, of course, yes, but this is also time if you want to ramp it up and do it by the hour. Now you're going to get even better results, okay? Again, it's something about this magic hours that makes the difference. So 3 o'clock, let's say you're going to do a green smoothie, okay? And then at 4 o'clock, you could do your colon detox, that's what it's called, with the fiber. And at 5 o'clock, you could do a veggie juice, see? And then at 6 o'clock, you go into your dinner mode, which is your soups, your vegetable soup and that kind of stuff. So that's what you have to do during that alternate phase. Okay, so now we get into that 3 to 6 o'clock time zone of what are you going to do in this phase. And this is what I call where you alternate. You're going to alternate everything that you've prepared, everything that you have. So this is your anything from your veggie juices, your smoothies, your colon detox. You know, a lot of times, just let's talk about that for a second. So basically 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you're going to alternate with whatever you feel like you want to have. But the one thing that is pretty important is this colon detox powder. So this is the one that you, it's the fiber, right? So you're going to mix the powder into the water, drink it down. Again, don't worry, we'll get into the details about how to do it exactly. But for now, just understand that that's the fiber that's going to cleanse the colon. And so when you take that, people often say, well, how often do I take that? And it's like, you know, the more if I take it a lot more throughout the day, do I get better results? Okay, so here's the deal. When you take the colon detox, the minimum for the day is 3 times a day. So we said having it, what do I say here, like, you know, mid-morning, and then here mid-afternoon, and then maybe later on in the evening, right? I mean, that's kind of the rough schedule. But if you want to take it more, like when I used to do the cleanse in my clinic, I mean, people were taking it 4 or 5 times a day. And for some people, that's almost too much. Like I can't personally even do that much. Other people are like, oh, this is a breeze, no problem. And it makes me feel full. I just like a meal. I like it. Great, you know. So 3 times a day minimum. And if you want to do more, that's fine. Okay, so let's get into the quote unquote dinner time. And that's going to be pretty much the same as we did lunch, right? So that's your potassium broth, your miso soup, your if you're going to have veggie soup, if you need to have that. But that's going to be more your soup stuff with your vegetables. So you're getting your minerals in there, and it's going to nourish you and nurture you, especially when you're going through a cleanse. It's very nice to have soups to get you through in the evening. It's lovely. All right, so then what are we going to do come 7 o'clock time? This is the time, let's check the notes. Yes, this is the time we do the detox baths, okay? And if you want to go for a walk or stretch or anything after dinner, that's fine. Of course, depending on the season and you know what's happening where you are. But it is the time roughly about 7, 8 o'clock when you're starting to get into your bath routine. So this is the time you're going to do your clay bath where you soak for 30 minutes, or your Epsom salt, baking soda, sea salt bath, and that's when you're going to have that. It usually takes 30 minutes to do the actual bath, but then, you know, by the time you clean up and get relaxed and all that stuff. So that's your bath time. And then to ramp it up, it's a good idea to do some more hydrotherapy and sea salt, okay? Now, one thing I forgot to mention right before you do your bath always is what? Is your dry skin brush, okay? That's like the thing to do, okay? Before, anytime you're going to sweat and open up your pores, you want to ramp it up, and the dry skin brushing does just that. So order of events is dry skin brush, a detox bath, hydrotherapy, and then your sea salt scrub bath, okay? Your sea salt scrub where you're scrubbing your skin, okay? Okay, so at 8 o'clock, what's the next thing you got to do? All right, here we go with the colon detox drink, right? And the reason I put it at 8 o'clock, because we're shooting to get you into bed at 10 o'clock. And we need some time for you to settle down, get your body all the liquid out, because you've been drinking, you've been having baths, and you had the colon detox drink, right? So we want to make sure that you get as much out as possible and you're not getting up all night long. A lot of people call me and say, I am up all night long and I don't know what to do. It's like, well, you got to space your liquids out at nighttime a little bit more, okay? So colon detox drink, and then right before bed, now I just said not drink, but you do have to do your liver flush. Liver flush doesn't actually make you go to the bathroom that much, because it's mostly the olive oil and grapefruit juice, so it's not much. It's just enough to get your liver going for the night and help you flush it out. So it's not like it's going to get you up a lot, as long as you do all this other stuff to cleanse out and get the liquid through. So that's the basic program, okay? And when you are looking at this and you're seeing all the different details on it, send me your questions and I'll look to see what the issues are, and I'll troubleshoot and help you guys out where you're stuck, all right? But basically, here's the deal. When you're doing the colon liver flush, you are cleanse. You are looking to do something every couple of hours. You're looking to get the liquids in as many times. You're alternating it. Do as much as you can. Don't beat yourself up if you're not able to do all of it. That's not the point. The point is just do as much as you possibly can. Most people, I would say, do about 80% of it. That's about the most they could get done. There's very, very few people who could do 100%. Those are my people who are like, really focused on, doing it right. And it's not about doing it right. It's about doing the best that you can. Because listen, you're doing so much already for your body to cleanse out the toxins just by even doing the pre-cleanse. I mean, just by giving your body a rest with that and just doing as much as you can with the 3-day, that's a lot, okay? And you're focused on doing the best you can. You're already giving your body a break because you're taking care of yourself. Makes sense, right? Okay, so the next segment, we're going to talk some more about the post-cleanse and what you have to do now after. Like, what is the next step after this whole thing is done? So we'll get into that in just the next segment.